apps because I have never gone live on YouTube before. Uh, this is my first time ever going live on YouTube. I was doing a live on another app called TT, and it got shut down for some weird reasons. I have a fair amount of followers here on YouTube, but I don't even really know how like YouTube Live works. I don't know if they will like alert you when I'm going live the way they do on on TikTok. I know on the TT app they alert my followers and my fans that I'm going live. I don't know if they do that here on YouTube, but I was going live on there and it was just like we got it shut down and I had been going live for like 5 maybe 10 minutes on TT and oh, you did get a notification? Okay, cool, cool. You got a notification that I was going live. Cool. I've never gone live on this app before, but I'm probably gonna have to start going live on here a lot more often because hey, what's going on? What's up? Yeah, I'm gonna start going live on this app a lot more. I don't know if I can get the same kind of numbers I get on some of the other apps on here, but I'm gonna try to go live on here for a few minutes, 10 or 20 minutes, and I'm also gonna try to do it on the one that starts with an I. We were going live on TT, talking about Jimmy Carter and the wildfires, which are the two biggest stories of the day, really. And all of a sudden, the live got cut off for misinformation. And I'm like, what? Misinformation? Right. I've never had a live get cut off of misinformation. I had a live get cut off of bullying before, bullying and harassment because of me going hard against somebody in the chat, but never had a live get cut off of misinformation because I don't spread misinformation. And I was asking them, like, what misinformation could I have possibly spread? And they couldn't even give me an answer. So that was a little weird, but that app's not going to exist in about a week or two anyway. So it's probably best that we move on to other apps. But appreciate the few people that are showing up, and we'll try to do it for a little bit longer. And you guys can chime in whatever you like. Hello to you as well, Ali. But yeah, no, it's crazy, man. We were doing a live, having some good numbers on the TT app, and then they said I was spreading misinformation, and they couldn't give me an example of whatever the misinformation was. And I don't spread misinformation. I mean, if you've been following me for any number of years, and you know that I try to keep it pretty factual. I try to keep it pretty truthful. My opinion may slip in, here and there when I do these history videos, but it's mostly, pretty factual. And so we were having a conversation about Jimmy Carter and just his legacy post presidency, because he wasn't the best president, but he had a pretty good post presidency. Did a lot of things to help build houses for people and stuff like that. And that's what we were talking about in the live. And like in the middle of what was a pretty civil conversation about Jimmy Carter, the live just gets cut off, and they told me it was because of misinformation. I guess they don't like Jimmy Carter over there. I guess they don't. I guess they dislike the 39th president of the United States, because beyond that, I can't for the life of me, understand what we were talking about on that live that could be considered misinformation. But whatever. I'm actually glad that you guys are joining me here on YouTube, because I have some new content coming to YouTube. A lot of you who've been following me on YouTube have probably been seeing my podcast, History Now the Future. I've been taking a break for that through the holidays, but I do have a new episode of that coming next Tuesday, and we're working on some new interviews and everything like that. But I have a new YouTube series coming out that I'm going to start. It's going to come out starting tomorrow, about the different generations. Like when we talk about like millennials and different things like that. You said you like Jimmy Carter, Los Angeles, California. You're 68 years old, so you're old enough to probably remember. I mean, probably when you were a little bit younger, you would have been pretty young when he was president, but you're old enough to actually remember Jimmy Carter's presidency. Yeah, my granddad actually worked for Jimmy Carter after Jimmy Carter was president. He worked for the Carter the Habitat for Humanity, building houses for them and everything, and got to meet Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind. This is probably back in like the 80s or early 90s, probably even before I was born. I was born in the early 90s, and he got to work with them. And Jimmy Carter was a really cool dude. He actually came to my neighborhood. I grew up in Alabama, and he actually came to my neighborhood back in the early 2000s, building houses over there. And so I'm pretty familiar with the Carter family. And yeah, that's what we were talking about on the TT app. And all of a sudden they said we were spreading misinformation just because we were talking about Jimmy Carter. So that was weird. But Juices in California. Hi, what's up? Are you actually in California? I hope you're safe out there, because I know, and you too, Cool Cat. I hope you guys are safe out there in California. I know the wildfires are raging out there. And that's another thing we were talking about on the live on the other platform. We were talking about the wildfires going on out there. And the wildfires. One thing that we did talk about, and this I don't know if this might have been the reason why they said I was spreading misinformation, but we talked about the fact that within the last hour or so, it's been reported by News Nation that at least one of the five major wildfires that's raging out there was the result of arson. Like someone set that fire. Now we don't know that of all the fires out there, but we do know that has been confirmed with at least one of the fires, and that person who is accused of setting it is in custody, police custody. And I actually led the live by talking about that. So I wonder if they're thinking that maybe that was misinformation, but that was literally being reported by News Nation as well as a couple of other platforms were reporting that story. I saw it on a couple of other platforms. So I don't know why we would be considering that misinformation, but for whatever reason, either talking about the wildfires, talking about Jimmy Carter, something that was major two topics we were talking about on the other platform, and they were like, "Nah, Corey, you're spreading misinformation about wildfires and Jimmy Carter." I guess it was really weird, but um, Natalia, I'm not sure if I pronounced her name correctly, but hi, welcome to the live. My first time ever going live on YouTube. I normally go live on other platforms, but this is my first time ever going live on this platform. And I'll do this for at least another 10 or 20 minutes, depending on how many people get on here. We normally get a lot of people in my other lives on other platforms, but it's just because I have a lot of other followers on other platforms that I'm trying to build up here on YouTube. I post a lot of more like long form content here on YouTube. I have a podcast, History and the Future, that comes out. I have a new series on the generations that are coming out starting tomorrow. And then I also have another bigger history-based podcast that'll be coming out next month. You said, Cool Cat, you said there was a lady going on stealing from the burning homes. Oh, wow. I hadn't heard about that. I mean, whenever these kind of situations happen, there's always a fair amount of like looting and stuff going on. And I really hadn't heard any major reports of looting. But yeah, it's kind of weird, like going into a house that has burned down trying to steal something. I mean, most of the stuff in it ain't gonna be worth stealing. I mean, it's gonna be charred and burned and damaged. So, but these were a lot of mansions and a lot of celebrities and wealthy people's homes that were being burned. So maybe they think they can salvage, I don't know, some jewelry or a safe or something from these homes. I don't really get it. I don't know what they would be trying to get from those homes. But that doesn't really surprise me. Usually, when these types of natural disasters happen, there's always some amount of looting. And so, yeah, but I hadn't heard that story that someone got arrested for looting there. That's crazy. Um, yeah, that's crazy. But hopefully everybody's okay out there. I know that at least 7 people have passed away and died as a result of these fires. So that's really sad. And I know like over 1,000 homes and businesses have been burnt down just in the Palisades neighborhood alone. And that's just like one neighborhood. So there's at least 5 major fires raging out there. So hoping for the best and hoping that those fires get contained. um, the 20 arrested, 20 people have been arrested. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that. Only thing I've heard is that the one person who was responsible for setting one of the fires had gotten arrested. I had heard that, but didn't hear about anybody else getting arrested. So anyway, first time ever going live on YouTube. Appreciate everybody who follows me on here. This is a really cool platform, and this is where a lot of my stuff will live from now on because the other platform that I'm most popular on, the one that starts with a T, probably won't be existing in the next week or two anyway. So it's kind of whatever that I'm not on there anymore. But what I'm gonna do is seems like people have kind of teetered out of this particular live. I'm gonna switch over to another platform. I'm gonna switch over to the one that starts with an I. Now on that particular platform, I have about the same amount of followers that I have on here, but I know a lot of my TT followers also follow me over there. Um, but before I leave, I will answer the question that just came in from Max. Do I think that this could lead to celebrities leaving LA and moving to a different state and city? Yeah, I think a lot of celebrities have been leaving California because of the expense and because of the natural disasters that are possible there, wildfires and earthquakes. I know a lot of them have been relocating to Texas and Florida and different places like that. And some of that has to do with politics too, as well, right? And just high taxes. California probably has some of the highest taxes, from a state standpoint in America. And so some people have been leaving because of the taxes as well. A lot of people have been relocating and stuff. A lot of businesses trying to relocate to Texas so they can, pay less taxes. So yeah, I think celebrities will be leaving California more. It really just depends on where they can make movies. And in Georgia and Atlanta, they're making a lot of movies over there. They got studio lots over there now. They've made a lot of major movies. Even a lot of major Marvel movies are being made in the state of Georgia now. You know, a lot of celebrities have been going over to Georgia, places like the Atlanta area, and they've been living there for like, you know, just during a movie, but they haven't really been moving there full time. But you might see more celebrities going to the Atlanta area because they make a lot of movies and a, you know, fair amount of TV shows over there. I know Louisiana in Shreveport, you know, 50 Cent's got a studio that's trying to open up down there that's going to be shooting stuff. You know, I don't really think they shoot a ton of stuff in Texas, but there's a lot of land in Texas, so there's a lot of opportunity to build a studio lot, you know, somewhere in Texas. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas has a big film community there, so I wouldn't be surprised. Apple Time, what's up? Yo, I was on the other app. I was on the TT app, and they kicked me off. They said I was spreading misinformation because I was talking about the wildfires and Jimmy Carter. It was crazy. It was mad crazy. Um, you said earn your respect if you want a sub and a like. Well, Master Do Master, I don't Mountain Dew Master. I don't know how to earn your respect other than to tell you that I remember when they used to make a Master Dew, a Mountain Dew that was blue back in the 2000s, and it tasted quite bad, but it was blue, and that was that era. Yeah, misinformation is crazy to get hit with misinformation because I wasn't even spreading no misinformation. I was like talking about the wildfires and the fact that somebody had been arrested in connection to starting. And yeah, Cool Cat just talking about the guy from the Kenneth fire. It was a guy who was responsible for starting that fire in California, and we were talking about that. And then we talked about Jimmy Carter because somebody had asked me about Jimmy Carter. You know, his funeral was today, so we were talking about Jimmy Carter and his legacy and everything. And that's like the only two major topics we'd even come. I was only going. I'd only been live for like 10 minutes maybe, and then all of a sudden the live shut off, and I'm thinking, oh, did somebody report me because I was like, you know, a lot of people report me for bullying because people will come, trolls will come in the chat, and I'll like, you know, snipe them out real quick. And then if I say something too harsh to a troll, then TikTok will be like, oh, you bullied the troll that was bullying you, you bullied them, so we're gonna cut your live off. That happens to me a couple times a year, not a lot, but misinformation, never been hit with that. Never been hit with that. Is YouTube going to be the new home stadium of corporate social media? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Probably so. Probably so. I'm probably going to be doing it here. And then in a few minutes, I'm going to hop off here and try to do one on IG and see what that looks like. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to look any better. Obviously, you know, not getting the same numbers on here as I get on other platforms. Barry and Trump. Yeah, I talked about that as too, Apple Time. I talked about that as too. I talked about the fact that, Barack and Trump were talking at Carter's funeral and seemed to be having a pretty civil and cordial conversation. But I also talked about the fact that George W. Bush, when he walked in, he just kind of looked, he didn't even acknowledge Trump's existence, just came in, said, what's up to Barry, and kept it moving. Didn't even acknowledge. And Trump looked kind of like, this guy, he ain't gonna talk to me. It's like, nah, bro, you can't just talk trash about a person's entire family and legacy and just, you know, expect them to be all buddy buddy in real life. You know what I'm saying? This is real life. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a movie. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what was going on. So you voted in two elections. You probably wouldn't care as much as if it wasn't for me. Well, Apple Time, I really do appreciate that. You know, I appreciate you, watching me here the way you do on the other platforms. I really do. Gonna try to build here on YouTube. It's gonna take a lot more time because YouTube is just it's harder to find stuff on here than it is on the other apps. The other apps have an algorithm that kind of just feeds it to you. YouTube Shorts is not bad. I've had some decent success on YouTube Shorts. But even that is still like I don't get even, within the same ballpark as the numbers I get on other platforms, but hopefully that changes this year. I am a verified account here on YouTube. I have a verified account here, and I don't have one on the other app where I have like 1 million followers. I only have like 6,000, almost 7,000 followers here on YouTube, which ain't even that great. I'm trying to hit 10K before the TT ban. But I have a verified account here. I've had a good relationship with YouTube for a long time. I've done work with Google before. I've had a good relationship with this app for a long time. But it's crazy that I already have a verified account here on YouTube. But you go to the app where I have like 1.1 million followers, and they still won't verify me, and they want to shut my lives down for misinformation, even though I don't. I wasn't spreading misinformation. You're right about Instagram might blow up, and that's actually what I'm about to do, guys. I appreciate you joining this impromptu live on YouTube, but I'm actually gonna hop over to that platform. If you want to follow me on there, This is Cory 91 on IG. I think it's like this underscore is underscore Cory and then 91 on there. And I'm gonna try to do that for a few minutes until probably the half point of the hour and just see if the numbers are any different on there. When TikTok leaves, people will move from TikTok to YT. and Insta. Yeah, it'll probably be better to get growth, Max. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It'll be better. I'm already seeing better numbers on YouTube and Instagram. I've seen a lot of new followers on Instagram in the last like week or so because I think people are finally getting it in mind that they're gonna have to like shift over. And so I'm starting to see better followers on both of these apps. But hopefully, like I said, we can get it up to at least if I just want like 10% of the type of numbers that I see on TT, because it's just so much more there. But we'll see what happens. But I'm about to hop over to IG. I appreciate everybody for joining this first live on YouTube. And trust me, I will be going live on YouTube a lot more. And I'm uploading some new videos to YouTube tomorrow. So I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.